contest will consist a series of timed 5 to 7 minute speeches that will be judged by a panel of judges. The contestants and the judges have certified their eligibility. The contest chair and the chief judges have confirmed the eligibility of the contestants and the judges. Contest chair, have all the contestants and contest officials have been briefed? Are all the contestants present? And are we ready to proceed with the contest?
Contest Master, I confirm that all the contestants are present, they have been briefed, and they are eligible, they're all eligible to compete in this contest.
Thank you, contest chair. For the information of everyone, the chief judge for this contest is past District Governor Katrina J.J. Letargo. Chief Judge. Okay. Chief Judge, have all the judges been briefed and are we ready to proceed with the contest?
Yes, it's confirmed. The judges are ready, so let's do this.
Woo! In order to allow the judges, thank you, Chief Judge, judges time to mark their judging forms, we'll observe a minute of silence after each contestant's speech. Timekeepers, will one of you signal me when 1 minute of silence is up? Okay, thank you. Silence shall also be observed after the last contestant's speech until all the ballots have been collected. The speaking order for the contest was determined earlier by having our contestant draw for position. The order for the contest will be contestant number 1, RPJ Santos. Contestant number 2, Juem Himlan. Contestant number 3, Joseph Amande. Contestant number 4, Precious Berdolaga. Contestant number 5, Raymond Angana. Contestant number 6, Joni Azili Waniza. Each contestant will be introduced only by his or her name and the title of the speech. I will then repeat the title of the speech and the contest name. Are there questions from the contestants or to our role takers and contest officials? If there are no questions regarding these proceedings, the International Speech Contest will now begin. Contestant number 1, please test your audio by saying good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, clear.
Yes, thank you.
Can you confirm that the timer is visible to you?
The timer is not visible to me. The timer is not yet visible.
Okay, can you see the timer now?
Wait. All right, I've seen it now.
Okay, so thank you. So now, let's start. RPJ Santos. Gimper. Gimper. RPJ Santos.
Be a gimper. Maybe you're wondering right now what a gimper is. A gimper is a person who is an overachiever and hates mediocrity. But for me, it means a lot. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, allow me to reveal my journey. Thinking about my past, I had a rough childhood. My dad always beat me when he gets drunk. That sarcastic laugh, it came from my relatives who makes fun of me. I got molested by one of my neighbors as early as 6 years old. School and church are like a hell for me. I became the darling of the bullies. So painful to think, but that's the reality. All of these things caused me to forget my worth. And as a result, I became rambunctious and depressed. I feel like I'm drowning every day and hated sunrise appearing. One time, I begged God to take my life. Not until I got in my 20s. Hearing words from a speaker in one of the youth gatherings, he utters the praise, "Be a gimper." That night, those words became remarkable to me and mollified my resentment about those people who hurt me. Consequently, I started to chase the path of being a gimper. All of my anxiousness, all of my doubts, and even all of my fears about myself for almost 14 years of topsy-turvy times in my life were exchanged by hope to master myself. One early morning, looking at my accountability mirror, I told myself, "You know what? I hate you. I hate you for not making enough to make a change. But I promise you, from now on, we'll make a choice together. A choice that will last forever. I'll start to take care and love you because I want to be a gimper." Since then, by God's grace, I started to stand and call myself out. I realized we live in a gentle and kind world. All I need is to find the right exact words every day, in every challenge or even situation. At present, being a gimper helps me to pursue my dreams. I am now on my third bachelor's degree, taking up AB Psychology. Not to brag, I am a consistent University Dean's Lister and a proud member of Coronado Toastmasters Club representing Division E. Today, I would like to share with you what actions it takes and how to be a gimper. Are you ready? The first action is be a passion-driven person. In other words, do whatever it takes to pursue your passion. As the Bible teaches, there is a season for everything. If you never give up on your passion, all of your efforts will be rewarded one day. And mind you, being passionate implies that it is okay not to be okay. Hence, success is a byproduct of failures. Now, let's go to the second action on how to be a gimper. Be a risk taker. Meaning, you must go out of your comfort zone. You must be obsessed with what makes you unhappy and uncomfortable to do. It is because if you make things you are happy and comfortable, you are not growing. You are just staying where you're at. Take it from me, nothing grows in a comfort zone. And now, the last action to take. Not just only to be a passion-driven person, not just only to be a risk-taker. The last action to take on how to be a gimper, be the master of yourself. Guess what? Our biggest enemy is ourselves. We became a hindrance to pursuing our dreams. We easily give up. We overthink. We dwell on what-ifs rather than our I-cans. Remember this, you cannot produce positive actions coming out from negative thoughts. With all the challenges that I had in life, I learned that the most important conversation you've ever had in your life is the one you have with yourself. It is because you wake up with it, you walk around it, you carry it, and you go to bed with it. Eventually, when you can't master yourself, you're gonna act on it. It will become your habit, then it becomes your lifestyle. Whether good or bad, it's about you. Master Lao Tzu, a Chinese philosopher, once said, "Mastering others is strength, but mastering yourself is true power." Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, if you're still questioning yourself right now, and if you're still carrying the hard wounds of your past, and you're still stuck in chasing your dreams, this is the place to be. It is never too late to be a Gimper. I would want to enlighten you that nothing magical will happen if you do not do anything about it. Particularly in these pandemic times, don't settle for mediocrity. Ladies and gentlemen, I challenge you to be a Gimper. Contest chair?
Thank you very much. 1 minute of silence, please, while the judges mark their ballots. May I ask the next contestant to get ready? One minute is up. Let's proceed to the next contestant. Contestant number 2, please test your audio by saying good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, clear? Can you confirm that the timer is visible to you?
I'm currently seeing the timer.
Okay, so let's proceed. Juim Jimlan, a new dream. A new dream, Juim Jimlan.
I did not believe in myself, but someone did. Fellow Toastmasters, there was a child who grew up from humble beginnings, and yet he had a big dream. My childhood dream was to become a medical doctor, to save lives and cure the sick. I wanted to be an oncologist, a doctor for cancer patients. While growing up, life was a struggle. The family's finances were insufficient. I had to set aside and forget about my dream. Then I felt so unfulfilled. My life is a trash. My life is a trash. My life is a trash. You know why? Because I did not become a medical doctor. Contest chair. After graduating from 4-year medical course, I did not proceed to medicine. I have lived a life of searching. I was even underemployed. From salesman to a dance instructor to a voice talent, life was still meaningless. Until one day, I met a very remarkable person. He adopted me and he became my foster father. You are not ordinary. I like you because you're a dreamer. These words shook me to my senses. Words uttered by my foster father. Someone believed in me. You are something Juim. My foster father believed in me when I did not. He gave me renewed strength to stand up and chase a new dream. He even said, if you really wanted to be a medical doctor, you still can. But why not try getting a PhD? At least I can still call you Dr. Juim. My child, struggles are temporary, but PhD It's permanent. It's never too late to redirect your dream. Stay where you are. Use what you have and do what you can. Believe me, you will finish your degree. I took his advice seriously. The next morning, when I woke up, I was stress-free because someone believed in me. You are something, Judy. I entered to the portals of the university for the next few years because if you have dreams like this, you really have to work hard for it. First, I have to finish my master's degree. Second, I need to finish my PhD. Fellow Toastmasters, the journey was not that easy. It was full of ups and downs. It was like a roller coaster ride. And finally, the day of my graduation, don't I look dignified in this academic gown? I felt so happy, excited and elated, having reached this academic milestone in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start off with a graduate school. Doctor of Philosophy, Juim Tijimlan. Dad, here it is. You can call me Dr. Juim now, but it's too late. My foster father died. He died of cancer. In my graduation, his lawyer handed in a Fabergé. It was beautiful. When I opened the Fabergé, there was a note, and it says, "My child, you are the best thing that happened in my life. I am so proud of you, Dr. Chuy." Yes, I am now a PhD whose life is dedicated in spreading knowledge, especially to the underprivileged. I have so many choices, like work abroad, put up a big business, be rich and famous, but no. I am a PhD whose life is dedicated in making the Filipino youth powerful. When I look back onto my life, I always remember my foster father. He made me realize that unfulfilled dream will never ever decide your fate. Simply, it will just redirect your path to a new dream. Because of him, I learned to embrace the detours of life, to create beautiful frame out of beautiful scenarios, innovate workable solutions with a cheerful heart, and navigate life with faith, with hope, and with love. Fellow Toastmasters, I cure ignorance. And the winner for the 2021 Global Educator Award goes to Dr. Juim Tijimlan. My dream is now a reality because I believed in myself. Dad, thank you so much. Someone believed in me. You are something, Juin. What about you, fellow Toastmasters? Is there someone who believed in you? Back to you, contest chair.
Thank you. 1 minute of silence, please, while the judges mark their ballots. May I ask the next contestant to get ready?
Time.
1 minute is up. Let's proceed to the next contestant. Contestant number 3. Please test your audio by saying good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you confirm that the timer is visible to you?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Joseph Amande. Stand tall. Stand tall. Joseph Amande.
My legs wobbled. I barely kept my balance. That summer night in Manila, a new pair of red stilettos lifted me up. I sashayed my way to the living room. Joseph Amandes, 16, Philippines. My mom and 3 sisters burst out laughing when suddenly in walked my dad. Contest chair. Friends, have you ever been caught red-handed? Well, I was caught red-footed. Why do dads always show up when you least expect them? I bolted to my room, this is how I run, hoping he had not seen his only son in red stilettos. Joseph! Oh my God. Look back, saw my dad's furious face, and I swear I felt the fume exiting his nose. Are you crazy? He didn't quite use the word crazy. It was worse. I just cleaned it up for this formal event. But his words broke something inside me. I thought, I am such a disgrace. I walk out in my red stilettos, click, clack, click, clack. Some bystanders stared and laughed at me. Red stilettos? Again, I thought, I am such a disgrace. When was the last time you let others pull you down? Walking aimlessly, listening to my own gloomy voices, I heard a speeding bike. Broom, broom, broom. It got closer and closer. Broom, broom, broom. Tired of all these noises and voices, I jump into the middle of the street. Bang! No voices, no noises, just silence. I woke up in the hospital. Next to my bed, my family, except my dad. And that's when it hit me. And it hit me hard. I realized death, my death is not enough for my dad to accept me. How would you feel if your own father rejects you? When mom saw my tears rolling down my cheeks, she said, "My son, you may not know this, but when you were born, your dad was so happy to finally have a boy. He's just disappointed, but he loves you. We love you." And then she picked up my red stilettos, looked at me, and said, "You don't need to be accepted by others. You only need to accept yourself. Stand tall." That day, in that small hospital, I learned a big lesson. Mom helped me see that life is a runway full of people walking in different shoes. Some suffer in the shoes that their family and society force them to wear, while others accept who they are, wear the red stilettos, and stand tall. How about you? Are you wearing your red stilettos? Since that summer, I have proudly worn mine. And every time someone tells me such a disgrace, I hear mom's words, stand tall. When you stand tall, you accept who you are. That lifts you up. When you stand tall, you believe in yourself. That lifts you up. When you stand tall, you claim your life, your happiness. That lifts you up. Seeing how, despite my many falls, how I embrace every click and every clack, how I sashayed my way forward on this runway of life, my dad slowly accepted me. And for the bystanders, well, they are still bystanders. Ladies and gentlemen, you too have your own pair of red stilettos, your uniqueness. The question is, are you standing tall? Perhaps you want to be an artist instead of being an accountant. Stand tall. Perhaps you want to be a teacher or a speaker. Stand tall. Or perhaps you just want to be yourself. Stand tall. Whatever challenge you may face, whatever nationality, religion, or gender you belong, you are you, and you are enough. So, is there someone out there who is pulling you down? Your family may disagree with you. Your friends and the society may laugh at you, but you can overcome it all when you stand tall. Contest chair.
Thank you. 1 minute of silence, please, while the judges mark their ballots. May I ask the next contestant to get ready? One minute is up. Let us proceed to the next contestant. Contestant number 4. Please test your audio by saying good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, clear. Can you confirm that the timer is visible to you?
Yes, I can see the timer.
Okay. Precious Berdolaga, brave girl. Brave girl, Precious Berdolaga.
I don't want to. It's bitter. This is the face I make every time my mom asks me to drink my medicine. Growing up, I had to take a cough medicine that was so bitter, I do everything I can to avoid it. Raise your hand if you are brave. Because every time my mom convinces me to drink my medicine, she would always say her magic words. You're a brave girl, right? Brave girl. Contest master, fellow brave human beings. Life is full of bitter experiences. It could be in the form of failing college admission tests, failing multiple job interviews, or just simply failing to reach the standards of this world. In elementary school, I was significantly bigger than all of my classmates. And because of that, people's eyes were often on me. They called me different names. Some called me Hetty, one of the mascots in Jollibee, because I have curly hair and chubby cheeks. Others called me Pearl, the daughter of Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob, because they said that I am as huge as a whale. And other common and uncreative insults like fat and pig. But every time I encounter my bullies, I would only look at them and smile because I'm a brave girl. Although I still hear their voices making fun of me. In your life, you will hear different voices. Some voices will haunt you, and some voices will embrace you. In college, I was hopeful. I was excited for a fresh start. But the fresh start that I was hoping for turned into a nightmare. 2 weeks before the COVID-19 lockdown, one of my classmates harassed me in front of the whole class. He screamed at me out of nowhere. He attacked me by screaming insults about my body. My professor and my classmates were all in the same room, but no one dared to stop him. I felt helpless. But despite the pain that I was feeling, I chose not to give him the attention he wants because I am a brave girl. Then quarantine happened. In my solitude, a small voice kept on saying, maybe if you weren't fat, you would have not experienced all those terrible things. That voice convinced me that I have to change my appearance just to experience nice things in life. That was my voice, and I believed it. I lost 10 kilograms in just 3 weeks. I underate and over-exercised. My own voice dragged me into a place of hatred and shame. Until one day, I felt exhausted. For the first time, I didn't have the strength to say that I am a brave girl. So I went to my mom. I cried my heart out and admitted that I cannot do things alone anymore. In my brokenness, when I couldn't be brave for myself, my mom stayed brave for me. My mom's true braveness changed the narrative for me. I realized that being brave was not all about acting tough, because brave people also ask for help. What kind of voice will you allow to make a lasting impact in your life? Because some voices will haunt you, like how the voices of my bullies haunted me. And some voices will embrace you, like the voice of my mom when she called me brave. But among all the voices that you will hear, the one that holds the most power in your life is the voice that you own. Whose voice will you allow to fuel yours? My friends, when you go through bitter experiences and you can't help but make this face, make sure not to run away from it. Just remember my mom's magic words. You are brave. Contest Master.
Thank you. 1 minute of silence, please. while the judges mark their ballots. May I ask the next contestant to get ready? One minute is up. Let's proceed to the next contestant. Contestant number 5, please test your audio by saying good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, clear? Can you confirm that the timer is visible to you?
Yes, it is. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So let's start. Raymond Angana. WYSIWYG Wizwig. What you see is what you get. WYSIWYG Wizwig. What you see is what you get. Raymond Angana.
If I toss this coin, will you see heads or tails? If you see head, I see tails. And this is an example of WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. If you see problems, you will get problems. But if you see opportunities, you will get results. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, and to all of you who are stuck, try to see differently because WYSIWYG. What you see is what you'll get. Last month, I bought a new mountain bike. I was very excited. I went to the shop, brought a rack, strapped my bike around it, and drove home, excited to show my new bike to my tatay. My tatay saw the bike, and the huge grin on his face, coupled by his nod of approval while he was inspecting it, made my day. Until such moment when he lifts the bike and said, "Dong, why is this bike too heavy compared to Jethro's bike? I could easily lift Jethro's bike with just one finger." Jethro is my brother-in-law. And so I went back to the shop and complained that I wanted a lighter bike that my tatay can lift with his finger. The owner of the shop lifted his finger in assurance that this was among the lightest bikes being sold. As it turns out, Jethro's bike is a road bike which is naturally lighter compared to a heavy mountain bike. And looking at the price tag, I realized that a lighter bike is actually heavier on my pocket. And so I suck it up, took a picture and shared it on Facebook. Priya, a good friend, commented on my story and said, "Finally, you now have a new bike." To which I said, "Yes, it is new, but my tatay said that it's heavy compared to my brother-in-law's." Priya's response was my inspiration to this speech. She said, "Mon, it's okay if the bike is heavy. What's important is that you become lighter from using it." In that instant, the bike became the tossed coin. And while I was seeing a problem, Priya saw an opportunity. I started to accept the bike's weight and the potential of me losing weight. WYSIWYG. If you see problems, you will get a heavy mountain bike. But if you see opportunities, you'll get the same bike, but with many health benefits. That chat reminded me of the pandemic. And my wife, we're both, Priya, My nanay and my wife was very much like Priya, who encouraged me to see things differently. Last 2020, during the pandemic, our barangay, which is highly populated, was hugely affected by COVID. We were locked down, and no one was allowed to go in and out of Alaska for 3 months. And in those months, I was depressed. I would stare at the yonder for hours, doing nothing, and tears would just roll down my face. And that's when I sought help and shared the depression with my wife. To which my wife said, instead of doing nothing, try doing everything. Since you're now working from home, try multiple jobs and be busy instead. In that instant, the lockdown became the tossed coin. And while I was feeling depressed, my wife saw an opportunity. I started to take on multiple jobs, enroll, and got a degree. I was so busy, I do not have enough time to be depressed. We see WIG. If you see problems, you will get boredom from all the extra time at your hands. But if you see opportunities, you'll use that same time in being more productive. We see WIG is actually a computer term coined around 1970s at Microsoft Lab. And what it does is that the document that you see and edit is the same that you get once printed. Microsoft Word is an example of WYSIWYG. Priya is also a good example, as well as someone from the 1970s, my nanay. She would always disagree whenever I wanted to replace my 13-year-old car full of dents and scratches. She would say, "Don't be silly. If that car is still running, do not replace. And besides, Alaska's narrow road is guarantee for dents and scratches." In that instant, the car became the tossed coin. And while I was seeing a problematic car, my nanay sees a functional car tested through time. We see WIG. If you see problems, you will get an old car full of dents and scratches. But if you see opportunities, you'll get a durable car immune to dents and scratches. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, the bike, the lockdown, the car, and the many instances in our lives is like the tossed coin. One thing, but seen differently. What my wife, my nanay, and Priya saw was the positive side of the coin, while I was stuck, focused on this side alone. And whenever we are stuck, may we find the courage to ask and the humility to listen to our wife, our nanay, our friends, the Priya in our lives, to come, take a look at a situation and ask if they see things differently. Ultimately, may we discover the Priya within us so that we can inspire others to let them see differently, because we see WIG. What you see is what you'll get. If you see problems, you will get problems. But if you see opportunities, you will get results. Friends, what is your coin? It's your turn to toss. Contest host.
Thank you. 1 minute of silence, please, while the judges mark their ballots. May I ask the next contestant to get ready? 1 minute is up. Let's proceed to the next contestant. Contestant number 6. Please test your audio by saying good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yes, loud and clear. Can you confirm that the timer is visible to you?
Yes, the timer is visible to me.
Okay, let's start. Joni, Azili, Juaniza. Of Juan, Maria, and Pablo. Of Juan, Maria, and Pablo. Joni, Azili, Juaniza.
The Department of Health announced on Thursday that a 38-year-old female Chinese national who traveled to the Philippines from Wuhan via Hong Kong tested positive for the virus. That was the news that sparked the COVID-19 tales in the Philippines on January 30, 2020. Fast forward to March 6 in the same year, the country recorded its first ever local case of the novel coronavirus. Our lives have never been the same since that news broke in. Community quarantines have been implemented, health protocols have been set, and our respective homes have become the busiest places on earth. New normal. That's the buzz. But the essence of the collocation became absurd when my creative imagination penned the stories of Juan, Maria, and Pablo. Let me begin with Juan, a fast food crew. One Saturday, the owner announces that they have 3 more days left before the store closes due to bankruptcy. Then we have Maria, a public grade school teacher, a mother of 3 grade school children, and the wife of a nurse who works at the COVID care unit at the city hospital. Aside from taking care of her children daily, Maria prints, distributes, collects, and grades her pupils' modules. She has been keeping the house alone for 3 months now because her husband cannot leave work. Finally, there's Pablo, a construction worker in Luzon. His company stopped operating since the ECQ, but he cannot go home to his family in Mindanao because travel is restricted. One afternoon, his phone rings. Hello. Pablo! Pablo, si Luisa! Si Luisa! Waiting on the other line is his wife, breaking the news that their 18-year-old eldest daughter was found hanging from a tree in their backyard, dead. The drastic changes in how we normally lived have become too complicated to comprehend. COVID has not only affected the tangible aspects of our being, but has also altered the normalcy of our happiness and sadness. The bustling social life that we had been reduced to glaring virtual meetings. The hustle bustle in our workplaces have been replaced with distant seating arrangements, skeleton workforce, and online transactions. Everything has changed. Even dying and breathing have not been given due exemptions. How long will this new normal stay? Until when do we need to adjust to the changes that it brings? Can the world still manage to go back to the old normal? But what if it cannot? How do you think will Juan, Maria, and Pablo go on with life? The tales of these 3 characters speak about the different situations that painted dark undertones behind the concept of the new normal. Their sufferings mirror the struggles of workers from different walks of life. Given all these changes caused by COVID-19, mental health support must be provided everywhere possible, more so at the workplace and at home. But how? Since COVID is the main culprit here, let's give it a dose of its own medicine. COVID versus COVID. See, care, call your family and friends, ask how they have been. Showing that you care will move them to care for others. Oh, obedience Obey health protocols. Mask on. Get vaccinated. Stay home if going out is not required. Protecting oneself is the best way to protect others. V. Volunteerism. Volunteer help. Sending care packages to afflicted loved ones will give them a sense of comfort. Giving to the needy will alleviate the sufferings around. I. Inspiration. Spread good stories on social media instead of rants against people whose choice of color and leadership preferences are different from yours. Bitterness will never help build a better Philippines. D. Determination. This pandemic has intensified the reality of survival of the fittest, elimination of the unfit. But no life is less valuable than someone else's. So let us all strive to survive and thrive. Care, obedience, volunteerism, inspiration, determination. These are the values that, when put into action, will help everyone overcome the fear of losing a job, will encourage every Maria to persist being a teacher, a mother, and a wife to a husband who cannot come home due to the call to serve, and will give every Pablo the hope that he and his family need to cope from their greatest loss. No matter what state of normal we are in, as Toastmasters called to make leaders, let us press on, serving one another with integrity, respect, and excellence during these trying times. Yes, I know we can no longer undo the drastic changes caused by COVID-19, but as committed communicators, we can always work together to amplify stories of hope instead of news that jeopardizes our mental health. Contest Master.
Okay, thank you. May we please have silence until all the judges' results have been received. Judges, please communicate with the chief judge when you have completed them. Okay, so now let's proceed to the distribution of certificate of participation. Zoom Master, can you show the certificates? And may I request all of the international speakers to open their camera? Okay. So may I call on first our contestant number 1, Toastmaster RPJ Santos. So these are your certificates. Speech contest certificate of participation is given to for this international speech contest qualifying contest signed by our District 75 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Richard Cuajo. Okay, so Zoom Master, can you take the picture? Take a picture.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Another one with our contest master. 1, 2, and 3. There you go. Thank you.
Okay, for Toastmaster RP, I have your a minute. So you've shared very personal
Yes.
note of your life. So as a public speaker or international speaker contestant, is it in a positive note to you that you should be vulnerable in these times of you're sharing your speech in a vulnerable way or being transparent to your audience? Is that an advantage to you?
For me, in my character, just like the way I overcome myself, I wrestle with myself. For me, it is an advantage because just like in the table topics a while ago, when I heard and observed, you see the stars in the darkest night.
Okay,
That's
thank
why
you.
it's so advantage for me.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster RPJ. So I
Thank you.
totally agree with that, being transparent and vulnerable gets a proper connection to your audience. Thank you very much. For contestant number 2, the certificate of appreciation or participation is given to Toastmaster Joem Himlan for being international speech contestant in the District 75 Finals 2022 qualifying round, signed by the distinguished Toastmasters Richard John Cuajo. Okay, so Zoom Master.
Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Smile. Thank you. And another one with our contest master. There you go. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Toastmaster Joem,
Yes.
I want to ask, are there any dreams you want to achieve in this moment?
Well, I wanted to be an astronaut. I want to explore the outer space aside from the Philippines. But the problem is I don't have a spaceship. So I enrolled at Toastmasters to see the fellow astronauts that will compete for the most important galaxy in the universe.
Thank you very much for sharing a bigger dream, Toastmaster Joem, and congratulations on achieving your PhD degree. Thank you very much. For our contestant number 3, same certificate is given to Toastmaster Joseph Amande. Zoom Master.
1, 2, 3. Thank you. And another one with our contest master. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Toastmaster Joseph, you've used symbolism, the use of red stilettos. So, as a speaker, as an inspirational speaker, what is a red stilettos to you?
Well, I think I made it clear in my speech that the red stiletto symbolizes uniqueness. And I believe that each one of us has uniqueness. We just have to embrace that and stand tall.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Joseph. Again, as great speaker, you can utilize the different techniques such as symbolism or using an object. Thank you very much. For our contestant number 4, same certificate of participation is given to Precious Berdolaga.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. And another one with our contest master. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Precious. Brave girl, Toastmaster Precious. So, this is a challenge to all of us. How would you address this in these times of pandemic to be brave enough in facing these adversities of the world or even in personal struggles, maybe?
I think one of the most important things that we should do is to admit that we cannot do things alone. We need people who will guide us, people who will help us make sense of everything.
Thank you very much, brave girl, Precious Berdolaga. Again, I want to emphasize that if you want to change anything, first step is accepting what is the reality. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Precious. And for our contestant number 5, certificate of participation is given to Raymond Angana.
How to smile.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now with our contest master. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
For Toastmaster Raymond, the title is WYSIWYG. WYSIWYG. In such a way, you are using the technique of acronyms, no? The very important thing in public speaking. So, in this WYSIWYG, in summary, what is the takeaway of your audience with this?
That's a very good question. Thank you. The basic takeaway is within that state, within the meaning in itself. So what you see is what you get. If you see problems, you will get problems. If you see opportunities, you will get opportunities. So whatever you see, that is what you get. So it's a longer statement of just saying, you know, we should be having a positive outlook or a positive perspective.
Thank you very much for sharing, Toastmaster Raymond. And I want to
Thank you.
emphasize the concept of attracting what you think, no? What you think you become. Okay, so if you attract negative, you will also attract negative vibes. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Raymond. And for
Thank you.
our contestant number 6, certificate of participation is given to Toastmaster Johnny Azili Waniza. Toastmaster, Zoom Master. Zoom Master. Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that. I was on mute. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then another one with our contest master.
Smile.
1, 2, and 3. There you go.
Toastmaster Johnny. Toastmaster Johnny, I love the way you use acronyms also. for COVID-19 as against versus COVID-19. So for the COVID-19 acronym, what is for you is should be prioritized or should be a practice in these times of pandemic?
Primarily, it's O, although it's not the first letter in the acronym because it comes second, but it's all really obedience. Because even if you care for others, even if you have volunteering spirit, even if you are inspiring others, or even if you are determined, everything will turn into nothingness if you don't know how to obey. So obeying, keeping yourself safe will actually really help you to make all the other values turn possible.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Johnny, for that COVID-19 acronyms. Okay, so thank you very much to all of our contestants of the International Speech Contest.